unlearn is like just cut off all the ego and just focus on the director's vision, and it's not about you or anything. The film is the bigger purpose here. It is very interesting, and I always thought maybe I just would be a singer and I would just be a singer and I wouldn't think, and then I didn't realize this whole thing happening, this band and all of these things. I'm just grateful for this year. My first live with the band and my first film came out, so I'm just thankful.
Love.
It was calm and refreshing, and he also said to find my own sound. Today was under a lot of pressure, even while forming the band and this whole thing. I think I'm just learning. Talking to people helps. How do I balance? I really don't know the right answer or any formula to it. During COVID, what happened was a certain section of people, minorities, were targeted, and a lot of negativity was spread, especially when people were losing their lives. So the only thing I can speak through is art.
Welcome to News 18 Social. I'm Yatamanyu Narain and I'm with Khatija Rahman, one of the most talented singers that I've come across. And she's going to perform at Southside Story. So we are going to talk about that and more. Welcome to the show, Khatija.
Hi, welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So Khatija, this is your first time performing at Southside Story and in Delhi as well. So what is the most exciting part about this experience for you?
I think I get to meet different bands who I've really admired, and it could lead to possible collaborations as well. So I think I'm very excited about that. In like meeting a lot of new people, exchanging their energies, and also like performing with my own band in Delhi for the first time is special because it's like themed like Southside Story, so it feels like home. A lot of Malayalis, like it doesn't feel like I'm in North.
Somewhere else.
So I feel very like comfortable.
Right. So I also got to know that for this event you specifically made your band, because before that you were performing solo, and for this you made your band. So how was that experience, making a band and practicing together? So how has a bond developed over the time with your band, and what do you have stored in for the listeners who are going to come tomorrow?
I think it's a very different sound. We are doing everything live, and so I think that's special because we didn't want to use any playback tracks. It's completely acoustic and live. So I think that is what we can offer, very special, and it was a great experience working with the band and learning. You meet so many people, you get off your shyness, that all of those rehearsals, putting together all of those time, it felt like a special project for me. And I was in talks with Kalyani Nair. She's the arranger and conductor, and she's also singing at the show. So we were talking, and then saying that we should do something together, and then correctly this happened, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. So it was crazy how God answered my prayers.
How everything got in place.
Yeah. So I'm excited actually.
Right. So you also recently made your composing debut with Minmini, and the response has been so incredible. I mean, even I loved all the songs. So how was this transition from being a singer to a music composer, and what are some of the things that you had to learn or unlearn in this process?
I think unlearn is like just cut off all the ego and just focus on the director's vision, and it's not about you or anything. The film is the bigger purpose here. It's not about getting you being above anything. For me that was the main thing. The film is the biggest cause, and we work towards it. There's no ego, or there's no so many things. And thank you so much. I'm glad you listened to the album, and it was very special, and it was a very spiritual experience for me. So this whole transition, I think I also didn't expect. There again, I kind of don't plan. I think God has these things in store, and then I realized, okay, I can try all of these things. So it is very interesting, and I always thought maybe I just would be a singer and I would just be a singer and I wouldn't think, and then I didn't realize this whole thing happening, this band and all of these things. I'm just grateful for this year. My first live with the band and my first film came out, so I'm just thankful.
Lovely. So what kind of feedback did you get for your songs from AR Rahman sir for Minmini?
So he heard the first single, and it is Iruperum Nadigal. I'm performing it tomorrow, and he said it was calm and refreshing, and he also said to find my own sound. So I was like, okay, it meant something that at least he resonated with the song. So yeah.
So I mean, how do you balance the influence of your father's legacy, but at the same time you also have to you want to create your own sound, you want to be identified as your own sound. So how do you balance both these pressures?
I'm even today was under a lot of pressure, even while forming the band and this whole thing. I think I'm just learning. Talking to people helps. How do I balance? I really don't know the right answer or any formula to it. I think I take each day at a time, and I also realize that I will be compared or there will be talks. It's fine. Somewhere maybe someday that I'll find my own space. So yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you about your first EP, which was Kuhu Kuhu, and it was such a beautiful tribute to Lata Mangeshkar. Lata Mangeshkar ji, and it consists of all my favorite songs as well. So I wanted to know, because your father also worked with Lata ji previously. So did you ever get a chance to meet her in person?
I didn't get to meet her, but when she heard Farishto, I think she spoke and she said she liked my voice, and so that meant something to me. I've never met Lata ji, but I think I've been learning these songs for a while, and it took me a couple of years to even put this out because it needed a lot of practice and rehearsals. So it was not an easy task. So there again, it was quite challenging in a good way. I learned a lot from that. So yeah.
So you have also mentioned that she played a huge role in your childhood, in your teenage years, when your music teacher, sort of introduced her through Mughal Azam. And so, what role did she play, for you to, recognizing your musical identity? I mean, how did she shape your musical identity?
I just feel the soul she brought in her songs was something I'm like, okay, some days where, to be able to do at least 1% of it, I would be like, okay, my purpose is fulfilled in life. So, the emotions, the techniques, and so many other things which she brought in each song was like, okay, these are goals for a singer. So this is how it was, and you've done your homework quite well. You've done all your research.
So I wanted to know, the recording, because I believe that you recorded the whole EP live with the orchestra, right?
No.
Okay.
No. That
okay.
I had done it separately, and then yeah. So I think it's an all acoustic album again. There is no synth or anything else. So that was the specialty of that whole thing, to retain that sound and not to corrupt it, because these are such gems, and then you can't spoil it with this one. So
your song Sagavaasi, it was widely received by people. So, and it explores the theme of the Tamil culture and themes of nature. How did you and Arivu how did you guys ensure that you are also ensuring the intrinsic part of the Tamil culture, at the same time you're also making a song that reaches a global audience? How did you balance that?
I feel all credits goes to Arivu, because he wrote the lyrics, and this whole concept was by him, to my remembrance from the jam sessions which happened more than a year ago. I think he has a very simple stuff he wants to convey, and it's very global. Like, I see his influences are sometimes he talks about Malcolm X and so many other things, and it's nice that he is reading into that, because whenever I'm around his energy, I sense some kind of a magnet, and we are going to perform it on September 1st. So it's like first time he's also performing the track, and so Southside Story is special in so many different ways. I think you should be asking him this question, but I think this whole idea, it is very timeless. Whatever he's written, even if you listen to it 100 years later, it's timeless. So I think that is how Arivu envisions something, is my understanding. It's never short, for short-term success or anything. So Arivu, I think, takes his own time, sometimes takes a lot of time, and then he comes up with something great, and then that's just there forever. Because when you say the mountain and the sand coexist, so this is something which will last. Whenever you listen to it, it is the truth. Everything coexists, and we are all kind of together, and so many other things he talks. So I think that it's great that I've actually worked with him. And
nice. So as a follow-up, how important is cultural representation in your music?
I think it's very important for me. Like even with Farishto, if you see, especially with the video, we brought in so many things that we can all coexist together. Same thing. Like I think I also iterating the fact that Arivu also spoke about that diversity, coexistence, and so many other things. And I think for me that is a theme, because during COVID, what happened was a certain section of people, minorities were targeted, and a lot of negativity was spread, especially when people were losing their lives. So the only thing I can speak through is art. How many ever posts I put, it'll be there, but this work, this piece of art is like something which I will cherish forever. So through art, I think this is the way we can speak and rebel and talk so many things.
Right. So yeah, you have also previously spoken about dealing with imposter syndrome. How do you deal with the challenges of it?
I crib every day. Even today with my bands, how nervous I am. How I went to my manager, like Rekaka's there, and then I'm just like, I don't know. I kind of go into that spiral of I should have figured it all out. I'm older and so many other things, and then you're like scared to make mistakes, because if anything, this surname or whatever is brought up, and then I'm just like. Then finally, today I went into like at rehearsals. I'm like, okay, don't think of anything, have fun. And also the great thing which they did was to cover. I couldn't see anybody, so that helped. I mean, this is also getting into stage fright as well, where I'm trying to deal with it, and I'm trying not to escape, rather face it with stage fright and impostor syndrome. I think it's going to be there. I don't know what is the cure or what is the thing. But then I think finding that peer support or sharing it with people, and then when they share their experiences that they also went through that, or perhaps they also have that, and they perhaps are just faking it like they're too confident, that sort of helps. So I try to just seek support. I don't keep things inside. So once I let it out, I feel better. Once I hear somebody else's experience,
stories,
so that I try to do that rather than keeping it all in and trying to figure it all out. So that helps. And now to know that you're also.
Yeah, I
so I'm like, oh wow, okay. It's nice that you're being yourself vulnerable. So I'm like, oh, nice.
Right. So you've also shared before in an interview that about your 7-year-long break, and you said that you were overwhelmed with the fame, with the aspect of dealing with fame. So after this, after you made a comeback, and after you were creating such good music and you interacting with fans and performing live, what is your relationship with fame right now? How do you perceive it? How do you deal with it?
I think it's not permanent. Today they'll keep you up, tomorrow they'll put you down. So it's better to just do your stuff and move on. That's what I told myself. Because you don't know, right? Like when you're doing really well, people will remember you, and then sometimes you take a break, you're forgotten. So I'm just like, okay, I should be happy. I should work for myself. Of course, would love for people to resonate, but this is what I'm telling myself this.
Right. So, I mean, your brother AR Rahman, he's also a very promising musician. So, how is your bond with him, and whether your musical sensibilities match with him?
No, sometimes it doesn't match.
Oh.
Sometimes when I show my work, it doesn't work with him, and he's and it's good that he's honest. And we should have disagreements that shows that we are two different people and not just
the same.
So that's nice to know that he'll be like, oh, you could have added this, or this would have been nice. I'm like, oh, nice, okay. But he'll say, okay, this is just my opinion. You've done what works with you. So that has happened, and of course baby brother, so completely pampered, and I shouldn't say more. If he sees this, he'll get pissed, so I'm not saying more. But such a blessing to have a younger brother,
have a younger sibling.
So by God's grace, I'm just thankful.
So you have also championed for financial independence of women. So how do you plan to use your music to empower other women in the coming times? So
I think more women indie musicians, more female recording engineers or instrumentalists, and even in my band, trying to keep a 50-50 balance between men and women, trying. So all of that is there, and what else is there? So hire women conductors and so many things, like, so basically, like, whatever possible way, you just try to subtly, like, try to bring in those changes. So, yeah.
So you have also cited world music as a major influence in your own sounds. So how do you think that the Indian music scene can adopt from world music, and how it can how it can change the whole musical landscape, like if we start adopting elements from world music?
I feel like it's already happening.
Right.
A lot of composers are doing so many amazing things.
Right.
I'm not able to quickly list out, but I think
I think AR Rahman sir has been doing it. Ricky Kedge is also.
Yeah, exactly. So many other people are doing, like Santosh Narain sir is doing, GV Prakash, my brother, he's also doing. So many people are actually doing it, and it's nice to see that. Yeah.
So I mean, apart from composing music, you are also an independent artist at the end of the day. So how do you see your independent musical journey going on or going forward from this point? Because at the same time, you're also managing. You'll be getting assignments for composing for music, for movies. You'll also be going for live shows. So how are you going to balance that, and what can we expect from you in that space, in that indie space?
I think I want to put out more tracks, collaborate with more people, be more confident in putting my tracks out. It's just sleeping. So that's something there, and maybe I will not just do it for the sake of doing, even if it's like once in 6 months. It would not cost me a lot of time, and then you get your film stuff, you do it. So you just try to find your balance, is what I feel. Because right now also I've gotten some offers, but work hasn't started, and then this band thing happened. So it's actually nice because you learn something here, and you can actually put this experience or learning here. It is always interconnected. So I think it'll never be a thing where I have to bridge this one. Like, maybe in an indie track I can freely try some experiments which I can actually try it in this film, so it would be a win-win situation.
But at the same time, what are your parameters for saying yes to a project, for example a movie project? What are your what do you expect from
First thing is, if they tell me I have to give it in a month, I will straight away say no. That's my first parameter to anybody who they say, okay, I'll bring your project. I say anything 1 or 2 months, I said I will not even look. I don't even bring the story to me, because I need to take my time and make sure we deliver a certain quality. That's what we did with our film, and so yeah, they gave me a lot of time, and it was worth it, which they understood much later. So for me, that is important. And then I think I'm connected with the story. I'm not like driven with star cast or anything, but if the story connects with me, like if after I watch a film or the script, if I feel a certain emotion, then I try to this one. And obviously with a director who challenges me to push my limits, because I also want to grow. So this is at this point, at this minute, or at this day, this is what I feel. And I'm also learning, I'm also this one. So yeah, if I don't connect with the story, then even if it's a big production house or whatever, then I kind of, I don't know.
So does that also mean like you're also open for composing music for Bollywood or Hindi cinema as well?
Yeah, if the story is good and if it works, if they feel thing, yeah. So
So yeah, that's it from my end. Thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck for your performance at Southside Story. We all would be looking forward to your performance, and yeah,
Thank you so much.
Keep releasing nice music.
Thank you so much.